Hello, I'm Jennifer St, and I'm coming to you today to discuss how to work effectively with a home care agency. With me today, I have Melanie Lewis, the owner of Guardian Angel Senior Services, as well as Lisa Kraus, and she has a loved one at home that receives home care. Lisa had some concerns and some challenges that have come up, and we're hoping that Melanie can give us some suggestions and tips.
Thank you. My mom is being taken care of by a home health care agency, and I've asked my main caregiver if she could engage my mother more, maybe have her help chopping fruit or wiping down the counters after, just the simple things that she used to do. Everybody's so trying to do everything for her that I want her to be as active as possible.
That's great.
My main caregiver was fine with that, but then nobody else knows that, the other caregivers that come in. I thought they would just communicate that to each other, and
Right.
it didn't happen.
This is a common thing I see happen a lot, Lisa. My first question is, did you happen to call the office, too, of the home care agency you're using?
I didn't.
Okay.
Maybe I should have.
So, as a home care agency, we're here for you, especially, and we love to hear that kind of feedback. If you want something done a specific way or you want to see a change happen,
Yes.
call the office and let someone know that, and it's our responsibility to then dispatch that out to all the caregivers.
Okay, so I'm not going to be a bother by calling
Oh,
and saying
no,
that
we're
there's-
here for you for that.
Okay.
You know, that's what we do. Each agency may do it differently. Maybe we're picking up the phone and calling everyone on your home care team, or maybe we're sending out an email. We may do that differently, but it's our responsibility to see it through. And then what we can do is do some check-ins, too, and make sure that happens. Communication is a big thing. I often see, you know, a lack or a disconnect between the client or the client family members and the office, and they just may not realize how much we can do.
Okay.
Now, Melanie, is there
Yeah.
someone specific that Lisa should speak to at the agency?
You know, you can ask when you call. You can definitely ask them who the right person is. Typically, for something like that, it might be the scheduler. That'd be a great place to start, because the scheduler is the one typically in contact with all the caregivers on a regular basis. So I
Okay.
think that's a great place to start.
Great, okay.
Thank you.
Lisa, did you find anything else challenging?
I did. This is a little strange, but I canceled a shift with what I thought was an appropriate amount of time, and then I got my bill, and I was charged for a pretty big portion of that shift, and I didn't think that
Yeah.
That was a surprise to
It
you.
was a surprise.
Okay.
All right, so that probably comes down to understanding your service agreement. There's a lot of maybe fine print details on there that really spell that out, and it's important that you know your agency and how they handle those things. Most agencies are trying to put these policies in place for the caregivers. So if you want to cancel a shift, did you know, days ahead of time for this?
I think I knew maybe 2 days ahead.
Great. The second you know of a schedule change, let the office know.
Okay.
My policy for Guardian Angels is if you know that you want to cancel a shift, if it's within 24 hours, you will be charged for a portion of it. If we know prior to that, then you don't get charged for it. And it's mainly for our caregivers. We want to maybe give them hours somewhere else and have a chance to do
I
that.
never looked at it that way, that
makes
the
sense.
caregiver
Right.
was losing out in the...
Right.
Now,
Okay.
Melanie, what happens in the case of an emergency, either a hospitalization or, a medical emergency, or, perhaps death of a loved
Great
one?
question, Jen. We have exceptions for that, really. I mean, if there's a hospitalization, we definitely make exceptions for that. Also, if a client wants to terminate an agency's service completely, maybe you're moving, maybe you're relocating or doing something differently. Maybe family's going to be, able to jump in for more hours.
Okay.
In a situation like that, you want to know the appropriate way to terminate services. So some people want a 2-week prior written notice so that they have time to prepare. So there's different things. With a service agreement, you may want to know, is there other charges? If someone's going to drive the client around, maybe they're going to charge for mileage. Let's say your mother enjoys going out for meals, and
She loves the museums.
See, so if she enjoys going to those things and wants the caregiver to go, she needs to understand that she's paying for the caregiver as well. This is their time at work. So those type of things are usually spelled out in the service agreement. And
Okay, well that
those are good.
does seem a little more common sense to me.
Right. Seems fair to the caregiver
That's,
to have that.
Okay.
Sure.
Another thing you may notice in the service agreement are some do's and don'ts. What is the agency responsible for? What's the caregiver's responsible for? Some of the things, the caregivers typically don't cut toenails. They typically don't do injections. Those are good things that are spelled out. What is the caregiver allowed to do and not allowed to do? Are they allowed to help with financial matters? I would say most of the time they're not. And those are usually guidelines in the service agreement. That's great to know.
And by financial matters, could they take a loved one to the bank, or is it in regards to writing bills, things like that?
Typically if they need help writing bills, we ask that there's a financial advisor involved if a family member can't do that. Caregivers are really for caregiving, companionship, things like that. Can we use a petty cash system to go to the store? Those things can be set up appropriately, agency specific on how they want to do that.
Oh, great.
Sure. It's great to understand how the agency operates. Like Jennifer, you were saying how, which person do we contact if we want to cancel a shift. You might want to know that at your initial meeting. Ask them, who do I contact for certain things? It's great to know.
At the initial meeting, it was very stressful, just the fact that I was having to use a home care for my family member.
It's a lot to take in.
And it's a lot to take in. I guess I should really reread and get more information. I'm sure I was told, but
Lisa, just try to keep the communication going with the home care agency. We love to know if there's a caregiver you love and think that they're doing a great job. We want to know that so we can try to help the other caregivers model after that person. Or if there's someone that you're just not 100% happy, you don't like the way they do a certain something, let us know that. We are the ones who can try to help fix that. It's not all on you to try to find a way to fix that,
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I think there are other ways to communicate to us too. You can use email, especially if there's a medication change, or a health change, contact changes. Those are all things to report to an agency. We love to communicate with the families and just be updated on everything that's going on. So
Great. That sounds great. Lisa, did you have any other questions?
I don't. I think you really gave me a lot of information. I really need to go back and reread my contract.
Yeah, it sounds like communication is key, and and I'm sure that the agency would probably be willing to go over things again with you if need be. But that's great. Well, thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. We hope that we were able to answer some of your questions as well. And have a great day.